Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is wonderful to see all of you. I hope everybody has enjoyed the stunning Southern California day. And I hope that everybody is embracing life and enjoying things as best we can, given who we are and where we're going. And in the meantime, it's a great opportunity to welcome Shabbat and to do so as we do at Temple Judea with great song. As everybody knows, Cantor Klieger's on sabbatical. So we have Rabbi Cantor Wissett and, of course, Tali. I'm going to be standing in and doing some music as well tonight. We'll keep you sated with music and joy and good spirit. And now it's a joy to welcome my colleague, Rabbi Cantor Allison Wissett.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's turn to page 130 with the words, Lechu Neranena. Lechu Neranena, Yai Lai 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 Lai, L'Adonai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Naria, say with me, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Letzur Yisheinu Lai Lai, Yai Lai 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 Lai. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. Lechu neranena, Yai Lai 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 Lai, L'Adonai, L'Adonai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Naria, Naria, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Letzur Yisheinu, Yai Lai 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 Lai. For all of the wonders in all of God's light, we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lechu neranena, Yai Lai 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 Lai, L'Adonai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Naria, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Letzur Yisheinu, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Yai Lai 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 Lai. I wait for this next moment, I think all week long, to bring in Shabbat with Lecha Dodi. The idea that this ritual helps us to welcome in everything that we really need over this next 24 hours. This peace that comes to our souls, this extra soul that comes to join us. Lecha Dodi, page 138. Let's let this melody infuse us with that extra soul that we need after a long week of lots of different troubles coming our way, perhaps. This is a moment when we can take a breath and welcome in everything that is meaningful to us. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabla, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, melody we haven't used in quite a long time here at Temple Judea, but it's one that I grew up with. And the sound of major key in Shabbat, the uplift that comes with that sound that is different from the Hava Nagila, the kind of na 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 na, which is maybe a little more plaintive, and this one lifts us up in a different way. I'm only saying that because I got a few comments. Is this a Christmas song? Where did this come from? What is this song? So it's an old song by Zaira, and I hope that you enjoy it. We are going to do something to honor today Jewish Disability Awareness and Inclusion Month. That's the month of February. And there's a very, very special video that was created by Chazan Mike Stein, who is the cantor at Temple Aliyah, along with Elaine Hall, who is the director of the Miracle Project. And what the two of them are trying to do is, we just welcomed in Shabbat, and this idea of welcoming people in or welcoming Shabbat in means we are standing in one place and someone else is standing in another place, and we're bringing them in. When you welcome somebody into your home, it's your home, and they are coming into your home. Well, when you feel like you are the one who needs to be welcomed, then you may not always feel like you are fully included, that you fully belong. And so instead of thinking in terms of inclusion or welcoming people in who are different from us, these two are trying to create a scenario in which all of us, no matter where we come from, no matter what disability might be there, what kind of neurodiverse community might be present, that all of us belong. And so this video honors that and helps us to bring some awareness to that. And I'm really grateful to these colleagues for creating such a beautiful project.
Love is the most important thing that God created, and we see that in His breath. God's breath is what lives in us all.
of the story, the past, the present, the future before us. Not an afterthought, you thought you could ignore us? We are whole, we are holy, 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 created. That's right. From love. Made of one breath. You and me. Holy, 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 holy. We are
We are all holy. We all come with unique gifts, and it is amazing when people are given the opportunity to use them, and very inspiring. And it brings a lot of light into our lives. And so we are going to continue with the candle blessing, bringing more light into our lives in honor of all of the different gifts that help to bring that light. And if you are someone who is under the age of 13, or maybe your bar bat mitzvah is tomorrow, Emma Murphy, or Emma Murphy, or Ethan Shapiro, of course. The two of you especially need to rush toward the camera, rush toward the candles, and light those candles as the last chance before your special ceremonies tomorrow, and we'll join together in the candle blessing. For Baruch Hu on page 146, and we're going to go right into the words of Ma'ariv Aravim tonight on page 148. So as soon as we chant the words of Baruch Hu, you can be seated. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro mariv aravim, asher bidvaro mariv aravim, bechokma botei asharim, ubitvunam mishanei itim, umachalif et hazemanim, בסדר הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו, בורא יום ולילה, גודלו מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, בורא יום ולילה, גודלו מפני אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב, המריב, המריב,
Shabbat Shalom. We've had such beautiful music, and I was deeply moved by that video. It wasn't even the first time I saw it. I saw it in preview. And I don't know how you could not but feel uplifted and inspired and feel as though this is what we ought to be doing. This is what this moment should be about. This is what Judaism, this is what our service, this is what our community should really be about. So I hope you take and carry that feeling, that joy, that way you were inspired, if you were like me, and I think everyone inspired by that wonderful, wonderful presentation. Take that into the Shema and join us together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Join me now for the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvletecha v'aderech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. I know I was talking to some folks this week, and these were a group of people who are fortunate enough to be completely vaccinated right now. And they're members of our community who, because of their age, were able to get their vaccines, and they are completely vaccinated, and I was talking with them about how they might feel, and I think they might feel as the Mi Chamocha wants us to be able to feel, like they have been redeemed. Somehow they have gotten through the Red Sea and are on the other side and are embracing a new possibility. So I know that there are so many of us who have not been in this, are not in this position, but nonetheless, it gives us a glimpse of what possibly could be. The Mi Chamocha. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilodo seifele, nora tehilodo seifele. Malechutecha ra'u banecha, pokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze Elianu ve'ameru, Ze Elianu ve'ameru. Adonai yimlo'ok le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimlo'ok le'olam va'ed. Lai, everybody. Yai lai yai ya lai la 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 lai, yai lai yai la lai ya la la lai, ya lai ya lai ya lai la 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 lai, yai la lai yai ya la 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 lai, yai lai lai ya la 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 lai. And now as we begin to reframe ourselves, we've been joyous, and that joy takes on a different tone, a different kind of feeling, a different spirit as we begin to think about the Amidah and what comes next. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Lidorotam Ritolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Lidorotam beritolam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Lidorotam beritolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Lidorotam beritolam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat Lidorotam Beritolam Vishamru V'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasod et HaShabbat Dorotam Beritolam.
I absolutely love that melody that you wrote, Rabbi Aronson, and I love singing the harmony over here with you as you're singing the melody. That was a lot of fun. We're ready to begin to bring our hearts and minds into our own prayers, and we begin together on page 164, and then take a few moments to say those things that are buried within our own hearts. From generation to generation, we will always declare your greatness. From generation to generation, we will pass on this sacred tradition. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lecha, ulenetzach netzachim, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushat chanagdish, ledor vador, ledor vador. Ledor vador nagid God lecha, ulenetzach netzachim, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha nagdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush leolam ro'eh. Baruch atah
Thank you, Rabbi Cantor Wissett. Thank you, Abby Wissett, because you were an important part of that, and it's so wonderful to see you and have you join us. And it's a nice segue into a kind of acknowledgement, and this is the time we do anniversaries. So, hey, has anybody been married in the month of January? Huh? Because if you have, this is your moment. It's your time. It would be so great if Rabbi Cantor Wissett would help me when she sees things popped in anywhere to let us know. But if you were married in the month of February, I mean, it's hard to believe that February is almost over, but in fact, it's almost over. And this is the time when if you've had you celebrate an anniversary, let us know. Let us hear from you. How long and who you are. And it'd be great to know who you're doing. So how you're doing and all those kind of good things. Anybody?
Nobody is writing in. Is there nobody on this who has had a wedding in the month of February? That's pretty crazy.
That's statistically an anomaly.
Not a single person has written in the chat.
And I'm looking on Facebook, and I don't see anybody in Facebook either. That's really surprising. Okay, I guess February is it's Debbie and I are celebrating our half anniversary.
The Murphys and Jenny and Travis.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Jenny and Travis. Is that in the chat? Great.
And the Murphys.
And the Murphys also have a Simcha tomorrow too. So how great is that?
And Jody Jacobson says, I think I remember this happening last year. I think I do too.
Maybe we should just combine February with March. I don't know. Or
Andrew and Jessica Jablon, 20 years.
How wonderful is that? Wow. Well, I'll take them. They're Jablons, they're not with us this moment, but they're members of our community. So let's take them for sure. Happy anniversary to them. Well, you know what? It is an accomplishment, however many years you are celebrating. Every year of marriage is a blessing, I hope, for you. And every year of marriage is worth celebrating and acknowledging. Marriage is work. marriage requires people to really care about each other enough to work at it. And I'm lucky enough to have the best wife in the world, and I hope everybody feels that way about their spouse. So happy anniversary for all the Valentine's people. And then let's pass it along down, because we're also going to get ready to understand it's whoa, boom. There we go. Here it's your birthday. Anybody having a birthday? Now we have to have some birthdays. Got a new granddaughter, and Julia Fishman turns 8 on the 26th. Oh, Alan and Alana Perper have been married for 51 years. I just saw that. It just got in now. Happy anniversary to them. So that's wonderful news for them. Rosie is 6 years old. Rabbi Cantor-Wisset, can you believe that? I mean, that's not even...
I'm trying to unmute myself. I was so excited I couldn't even find the unmute button. That's
Lori's
amazing.
birthday was yesterday. Lori Seidelman, happy birthday to you. And Chloe, Eileen's granddaughter, is 10. That's double digits, Eileen. Wow, that's a lot. Eileen and Jack, mazel tov to you. All good stuff. Emma and Dina have birthdays as well. So Dina has an anniversary and a birthday and a daughter with a birthday. And this month, put on top the cherry, it's a bat mitzvah. How wonderful is that? Well done. And we're looking forward to that tomorrow, Dina. And Emma. And Marshall. And Joshua. Everybody. All good stuff. And we wish you long life till 120 years. And may you know only simchas and blessings in that lifetime. We also now want to turn our attention to members of our congregational community for whom a blessing of healing would lift their spirits and nourish their souls. So you can, at this point, think about people in your life, in the life of people you know, who are suffering physically, emotionally, however it may be. We want to say, we want to lift their spirits with this blessing of healing. You can put their names into the various chats, be it on Facebook or be it on here in Zoom. So we wish everybody well. We also think of these members of our community: Kathy Pecora, Marilyn Seidelman, Patty Olson, Miley Olson, Lorraine Friedman, Diana Morgenstern, Sharon Furman, Stacy Vetrovec, Lorraine Rosen, Eve Margolis, Tom Schwarzkopf, Helen Katz, Jennifer Dean, Rivka Bat Sarah Rachel, Anita Kaiserman, Andrew Haas, Reuven Ben Baruch Leib Ve'elka, Michelle Mordkoff, Jill Reese, Josie Berger, Emily McManus, Yosef Shoshan, Marilyn Spatz, Sharon Pragerson, Ellie Ben Chaim Betanya, Billy Adler, Jaron Muskowski, Julian Goldsmith, Marcy Leonard, Donna Collin, Debbie Alberts, Heidi Adler, Barry Scher, Harriet Cohen, Daniel Ben Chana, Emily Owen, and Yehuda Jablon. We hold all of them close in our hearts as we offer a blessing of healing.
Page 371. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mekor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Thank you for that, Rabbi Cantor Wisset. It's always so beautiful and uplifting to listen to your voice and to hear those words. Before this year, I had never thought of the U.S. Capitol building in religious terms. I never did. But since January 6th, I have. For the first time in my life, I've heard it described in religious terms. I've heard it called the sacred symbol of democracy, the seat of sacred trust, as the place of sacred gatherings, and as America's temple of democracy. Those are powerful words. Words usually reserved for religion, like sacred and temple. And they got me thinking, American democracy, if housed only in that building or even only in Washington, D.C., would fail miserably. In order to thrive, it has to exist in every town, in every village, in every city, in every state. And it has to be ingrained in the hearts and minds of Americans. If Americans stop believing in democracy and in our democratic system, we would have more than just huge problems. We would probably cease to exist. The same can be said for Judaism. Without the synagogue, we too would probably cease to exist. That story of the U.S. Capitol reminds me of this week's Torah portion, Truma. Truma is the story of the building of the tabernacle, that portable sanctuary that the ancient Israelites carried across the desert until they got to Jerusalem and they could build a permanent structure. Here's what it says in the Torah: make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. Then the rest of the portion goes into great details about not only what was to be built, but how. What materials would be used, specific dimensions and great details about colors and size, about gold and silver and copper, acacia, cypress, cedar, and olive woods. The description of the golden menorah and of the altars are also found in great detail. In this portion, we receive the description of what was to be built as God's house. But there's something more, something really important. The temple was neither the purview nor the property of the priests. For what happened next is key. Moses instructs each person to bring a truma, a donation, or a gift for the building of the sanctuary. The gifts could be gold or silver or copper, or blue or purple or crimson yarns. They could be linen or goat's hair, tanned ram skins, dolphin skins, and acacia wood. They could be oil for lighting or spices for anointing oil and for the aromatic incense. They could be lapis lazuli or other precious stones for the ephod and breastplate. It didn't matter what you brought. You had to bring what you could, with those of greater means responsible to bring more. But everyone had to give. And why did each person have to contribute to the building of the tabernacle? Why did everyone have to give? Because it was for the community. And so each gave according to his or her ability, having a stake, being an owner, feeling responsible for, and caring about it because it was theirs. It's that incredible sense of belonging to something, of caring about it, of it meaning more to you because it's yours. When I was a little boy in elementary school, our family friends were getting a new sailboat. It had been built for them in Japan, and it was coming to Long Beach on a freighter. We were actually going to meet it as it entered Long Beach, and my dad and his two friends were going to sail the new boat to San Pedro. I was very excited. And when I got excited, I was known to exaggerate. So I told one of my classmates that we were getting a new sailboat and we were going to Long Beach to pick it up. And he said that he was getting a new sailboat. And it was coming on Saturday morning on a freighter from Japan. And so he told his mom that I was getting one too. And you can guess what happened. His mom called my mom and said, "I heard you're getting a new sailboat." And my mom said, "No, we're not." And the woman continued, "And I hear it's coming from Japan." And my mom said, "No, we aren't getting a sailboat." And so on that Saturday morning, standing on the dock as the sun was rising were two groups of people. My classmate and his family and friends, and our family together with our friends. The woman practically attacked my mom, telling her that it wasn't nice to lie and that they could have shared this experience of becoming new boat owners together. My mom said, "But we aren't. It's our friends who are getting their new boat." And there wasn't a person standing on that dock who didn't know that I was in big trouble. So our friends, the boat owners, hearing this whole story and not wanting me to have a reputation for fibbing, decided to sell me the whiskey plank. The last plank that is fastened into the hull, and with it the boat is completed and people celebrate. And the name of the plank, the whiskey plank, is because that's what people drink when they finish putting in that plank. And so it would be my boat. And they wrote up a bill of sale and they sold me that one plank of this boat. I would be responsible for cleaning the boat, for washing down the decks, and for doing any other chores that a nearly 10-year-old little boy could do on his new sailboat. But having a sense of ownership, feeling it was mine, I felt responsible for that boat. I loved it. And even though I got seasick every time we went out on it for more than 10 years, the feeling that it was mine caused me to love it. Our friends are no longer alive, and neither are my parents. And that boat, the Whereaway, is long gone. But I'm going to show you how much I love that boat. It's now many, many years later. And here's a picture of that boat. And here's a picture of my two older brothers, my sister, and me at the helm. And I didn't have to look for either picture. I keep them in my desk, two of the very few pictures that I cherish. But why? Why did our ancestors want or need to build a sanctuary to God? Did God need it? Or did they? The early rabbis, when asked why God needed a house, offer an answer to the question, which in all probability, more of us have asked this past year than ever before. In this year, a year where none of us has been in our sanctuary, not even for the High Holy Days, the question becomes even more important. Who needs a sanctuary? Why did God need one? And why do we? We've done fine with Zoom. More of you are on services on most Friday nights than came to Friday nights when we could go into the Gore Sanctuary. You don't have to get dressed up. You don't have to drive. You don't even have to finish dinner. Each week we can see Mila in her high chair, people at the table, on the couch. You have truly welcomed God into your homes. Our early rabbis dealt with that same issue. Why build this structure? Why do we need such a beautiful home for God? The early rabbis shared an imaginary conversation between God and the people of Israel. They picture the people explaining to God that all human rulers have beautiful palaces, rooms where offerings are brought to them, and where the people can demonstrate their loyalty and love. The people say to God, shouldn't you, our ruler in heaven, have such a palace? And according to the rabbis, God responded to them, I have no need for such a place. And God continued, my children, after all, I don't eat or drink. Obviously, however, you have need for such a place because it will help you experience me. And for that reason, build the sanctuary, and I will dwell in your midst. What the early rabbis sensed was our human need for a place to worship, a special place set aside for meditation and prayer. But if we study Torah, we learn that we can communicate with God anywhere. And there are no special places, and yet every place is a special place. Abraham spoke to God atop Mount Moriah as he bound Isaac for sacrifice. And Jacob encountered God in a lonely place in the desert. And Moses first spoke with God out of a bush that was aflame, but was not consumed. And later, atop Mount Sinai, a barren, desolate mountain in the middle of nowhere. No palaces, no grandeur, no gold or fancy wood, just a pile of rocks on top of a mountain. Martin Buber, in his Tales of the Hasidim, wrote, where is the dwelling place of God? That was the question which the Rabbi Mendel of Kutsk surprised a number of learned people who happened to be visiting him. They laughed at him. What a thing to ask. Is not the whole world full of God's glory? Then the rabbi answered his own question. God dwells wherever we let God in. So what does this line really mean? Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell amongst them. Is it possible that God was telling the people that without a sanctuary, without a building, a place for the Ark of the Covenant, or altars for sacrifice, they would not sense the presence of God in their lives? Are sanctuaries necessary for worship, for finding God? Does God require a building in order to dwell among human beings? Jewish tradition teaches that we experience God in many ways. God is to be found in the beauty and mystery of nature, in the love and friendship we share with others, in the spiritual impact of a ritual or celebration, and in the work done to promote justice, generosity, and peace. There's no exclusive place for God. Religious sanctuaries serve a significant function. They are the unique spaces we set aside for our meetings with God through prayer, study, and sharing with others. But does that mean that they are the only place God dwells? Of course not. Just as we enjoy music and art in a variety of places outside of concert halls and museums, just as American democracy must flourish and be strong outside of the Capitol as well as within its walls, we can pray and encounter God in many different places as well. We create religious sanctuaries, however, out of our need for inspiring environments where we can find moments for reflection, comfort, and hope in difficult times, direction and wisdom when we face moral choices, and beautiful rituals with which to celebrate the most important moments of our lives. Our sanctuaries provide us with spaces where we can share with others and sense the support and enthusiasm of our community. As the early rabbis taught, our sanctuaries answer our human and spiritual needs, and they provide a place where we find community. As many of you know, for 5 years, I was one of the rabbis at Wilshire Boulevard Temple. One of my favorite things to do when I was there was to take people on tours of the Magnan Sanctuary at the Glazer campus. You've seen it. It's 10 stories from the floor to the top of the dome, with the oculus at the top surrounded by the words of the Shema. The first thing out of the mouths of almost every visitor I took into that sanctuary was, "Oh my God." And that wasn't a coincidence. The sanctuary was designed to create a sense of awe. Anyone who entered was to be awestruck and have a sense of the glory of God. And it happened every time. And while no one looks up at the ceiling of Temple Judea and has a sense of awe, at Temple Judea, each one of us look around us, at our friends, at our family, at those on the Zoom screens that we speak with at the end of services each week, greeting each other with a Shabbat shalom. And we feel our community, the power, the sacred uniqueness of what we've built together through the contributions of each one of us, through this amazing community we've built together and in our own just as special way. We are able to feel the presence of God amongst us. A 20th century Italian commentator, Umberto Cassuto, saw another purpose for the creation of the sanctuary. He pointed out that the people of Israel experienced God in a powerful way at Mount Sinai. The mountain shook, and there was thunder and lightning and smoke and fire. And according to the Midrash, God even lifted the entire mountain and held it over the people. They heard the 10 Commandments and felt themselves connected to God in a unique covenant. But once they set out on their journey away from Mount Sinai, says Cassuto, it seemed to them that the link had been broken, unless there was in the midst a tangible symbol of God's presence among them. In other words, the Mishkan, or tabernacle, was a tangible, visible assurance of the bond that God had forged with the people of Israel at Mount Sinai. While they would journey to distant places from that wonderful mountain where God addressed them, their sanctuaries, no matter where they were, with their arks and eternal lights, with Torah scrolls, with people praying, studying, and gathering, remind us to differentiate between what we want and what we need. For Jews, sanctuaries would be a constant reminder that God dwelled amongst us. In that way, every synagogue sanctuary is an extension of Mount Sinai. May our synagogue, our community, and our sanctuary always be that safe place for Jews to gather together, to pray, to study the words of Torah, and to appreciate the blessings of life. It's my pleasure now to invite our president, Gail Aspinwall, to share some announcements.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Rabbi Raff, I think you just brilliantly and beautifully summarized our experience as a temple community over the last 11 months, and sharing your personal story of the boat. So meaningful. I think we all feel like we've brought the synagogue and the sanctuary into our own homes. I'm sitting right now at my dining room table, which is covered with jigsaw puzzle pieces. Yet I feel like I'm in a sacred space because I'm sharing it with all of you and all of my dear friends from Temple. So thank you all. First things first, we want to say a big shout out and mazel tov to Emma Murphy and her family, and Ethan Shapiro and his family on their bat and bar mitzvahs tomorrow. Of course, we're always so proud of our Temple Judea kids and on these wonderful life cycle events. All our thoughts are with you for a terrific tomorrow and a wonderful bar and bat mitzvah weekend. Okay, this is a big week in Judaism. It is Purim. So we're kicking off Purim. Remember, I hear from the rabbis, it's a mitzvah to be joyous and rowdy and noisy and having lots of fun. So we're kicking it off on Thursday at 4 p.m. with our TJ Village. That's our mature adult community. And we're having a phenomenal music program with the incomparable Dr. Tali Todmore. She's going to present a program called My Musical Roots, where she's going to entertain and educate about her favorite pieces for the piano. So that sounds pretty amazing. So that's at 4. And then at 7, you can get a quick bite to eat. It's time for the big rowdy Purim spiel. That's right, our big annual Purim spiel. We have clergy, we have members of all ages. Everybody's getting together to put on an amazing Purim show for all of us on Zoom this year, of course. Maybe next year we'll all be in person. And I wish I had a grogger so I could be spinning it right now, but hopefully next year. I also want to call your attention. Our Early Childhood Center is having an online fundraiser. It's a silent auction online. It closes tomorrow night at 10 p.m. And there's lots of great goodies, lots of things to bid on. And if you're not aware, our ECC opened in September. We've had tremendous success in keeping it safe and unbelievable word of mouth, positive reviews. And I just heard that already we have more than 70 families signed up to start next September. So that's pretty amazing. We're so proud, and we have such wonderful families and staff that work together to make it so successful. And of course, we have our regular lineup every week that you read about in the e-news: Torah study, choir club, making lunches for the Hope of the Valley mission, racial injustice and justice programming, so many things going on. Check it out in your Tuesday and Friday e-news. And once again, thank you so much for allowing my little dining room table here to be part of your sanctuary. And I wish you all a week of peace and health. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Gail. We're very appreciative of your energy and your enthusiasm and your leadership and all that you do for the synagogue. I want to make sure that everybody knows our Purim spiel is going to be available to see online, very similar to what happened with the Holy Days. You can go to all the regular BAT channels. You can go to our website. You can go to YouTube Live. You can go to Facebook Live. You'll be able to see the Purim spiel at 7 o'clock this Thursday night, and we would love for you to be there. It's going to be very exciting.
Rabbi Aronson, if I can add, the only place you can't see the spiel is on Zoom.
Yes, exactly correct. As I didn't say Zoom, you can't see the spiel on Zoom. It's going to be just like the Holy Days. You have to go to one of the sources I mentioned, and you'll be able to see it there. But please don't be searching for it on Zoom, because there won't be on Zoom. Friday night, 1 week from tonight, we'll be having a Purim-themed Shabbat service that will be available on Zoom, and it will be available to all of you through the normal ways, including Zoom. So there's going to be some Megillah reading and some this and some that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So bring your fun hat, bring your best effort to have a great time, and join us for a lot of great Purim festivities. Thanks so much. At this moment, we're going to turn our thoughts to members of our congregational community who have been taken at this season, and those who died in years past, those whom we have brought into our hearts with our own. If you are in the period of the Shiva, if you're in the period of the Shloshim, if you are in the Shana, the year-long period of mourning, if you are observing Yortzeit this Shabbat for any person you love, for any reason, please, in the chat and Zoom, write in the name of your loved one or on Facebook Live, and we will, of course, hold them close in our hearts. We also will remember these members of our congregational community. For Shloshim, Bryn Elaine, Selma Fain, Sonia Sloan, and Marion Ruth Cash. We think also of those who have memorialized their loved ones on our Yortzeit plaques outside the Gore Sanctuary. Joyce Marilyn Bank, Herbert Berlin, Wendy Hiller Bluebond, Mildred Nora Chavin, Alice Davis, Ruth Dean, Sydney Deutsch, Iris H. Dufine, Benny Fadden, Norman Ferber, Albert J. Feiner, Francis F. Friedberg, Esther Gamm, Oscar S. Goldman, Ida Green, Rose Greenhouse, Leopold Gross, Faye Hirschberg, Simon Hirschfield, Grace Kammermeyer, Hyman Katz, Celia Mailer, Michael Mermelstein, Saul Niesenson, Paul Reese, Ellis Robinson, and Lisa Roderick, Molly Silverman. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing to all their loved ones. If you are able, please rise for the kaddish. You can find it in your Siddur on 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabba, ba'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach leolam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekodesha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Ose shalom ben romav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us, and let us say together, Amen. We are going to conclude with Ose Shalom. So I hope you're ready to rock it out a bit and enjoy, making sure I'm in tune here. Let's all join together. Grab your loved one close. Let's hear some energy coming at me through the magic of Zoom. Ose shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Thank you, Cleveland. Everybody, raise their cup in joy as we join together with Kiddush. Does everybody have your cup? This is practice for Purim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava u'ratzon henchilanu zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikrai kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahava u'ratzon hinchatanu baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Rabbi Cantor Wisset, I hope I'm doing the musical staff proud.
You're doing great, and it's so much fun. We're having such a good time listening to you.
Now it's time for the challah. Everybody bring out their chalot. Let's see. Oh, they're looking beautiful down there. Jody Jacobson has challah by Adam. That sounds like a business in the making. Challah by Adam. Rabbi Cantor Wisset, look at your challah. Wow, that is golden brown, actually. Oh, my God. Beautiful.
Really good.
How wonderful is that? That's excellent. Wow. Everybody got a challah? Oh, look at the jablons. I need to see that closer, jablons. What's on that? That looks great. Wow. Beautiful. Murphy's celebrate. We're looking forward to you. Shapiro's, we're looking forward to you. Everybody touch one another through the magic of the interwebs. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Excellent. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. There we go. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Good to see everybody. Enjoy.
Shabbat shalom, Oscar.
Beautiful service, Rabbi.
Pretend to see it.
Bye-bye.
Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. So nice to see everybody. Nice to see everybody. Great Shabbat. Enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy LA. It's beautiful weather. Great dinner with your family tonight.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Be well, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. How's Adam's challah? Pretty good? Bemstein,
It's actually
Shabbat
pretty
shalom.
good.
Evan, Gary, how are you? Shabbat shalom. Nice to see you.
It's on the
Tracy,
inside. You
Larry,
did a good job.
to you. Nice to see you. You're all doing great.
Excellent.
Excellent. All right, we'll all see you later.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Rabbi Aronson. Hi. Hi, Josh.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you for a wonderful service.
I have my mask, so we'll see.